It's going to be more of and it's that's incorporated things like
Now in today's lesson, I'm going to talk to you about help. And let me just say one thing. You're going to need help. You're going to need lots and lots of help. Now, back when I went through my time, it was right before the onset of smartphones and just the wealth of information that was right there at our fingertips 24/7, and you have such an advantage today. Don't let the fact that you're going to go through some hardship, don't let that make you go back. Don't. It's going to be hard, I'm going to tell you that straight up. But in today's world and the environment that we have, there are resources. You find a way. You do what you've got to do to make a change. When I finally left, I left in a 17-year-old car that ran for 10 days. He ended up taking all access to our money, so the little bit of cash that I had was all that I had. I had been so silent that no one knew, and for some reason I still held on to that. You don't break this cycle overnight. That cycle of silence. I know what you're doing. You're making excuses. I know why you're doing it. People don't have to understand. They don't have to understand where you are. That's not necessary. But it is time to start letting people know what you've been going through. The world is a different place now. There's an awareness going on, thankfully, through the technology that we have today. When my car finally broke down, it was amazing to me the outpouring of help that I received. About a month after I left without my children, I was able to find a ratty little trailer, get a couple of pieces of furniture. I found me a little temporary job, and I made that ratty little trailer as much of a home environment as I possibly could. And then circumstances occurred that I got my children. Now I'll go into that in another series. Now once I did start making it a little bit more public about what I had been enduring, the outpouring that I received was tremendous. Now, I don't really have the same group of friends that I used to have, and quite frankly, I've had to come to the realization that I'm the one who ultimately sabotaged that. No one can withstand being around negativism for long periods of time, and I fought the process. I was angry, I was scared, I was just so focused on the hardships that we had and the things that my children were having to endure, and I am quite certain that I pushed people away in my life. Rather than take the things that I was learning and put them into a positive mindset, I went towards the negative, and I destroyed a lot of relationships. Got the access of the internet right there in your phone. I know you got a smartphone. You got it sitting right there. Use it. Instead of sitting there letting your mind go numb by watching hour upon hour of senseless, mindless TV, do some research. If you don't have a laptop, I know you got a phone. That's become more of a necessity than it has been a luxury in these days. Use it. Ask for help. Humble yourself. Make some uncomfortable decisions to go forward and know that you're doing the right thing. I believe in you. The road that you have is going to be hard, and you're going to grow. Oh my word, you're going to grow in amazing ways, and it's good. Don't be afraid. Here's where you start. That's the website for the National Domestic Violence Hotline. Memorize it. Thehotline.org. Their telephone number is 1-800-799-SAFE. That's 7233. That's your start. Okay, so now's the time to really put your brain on. It's going to be best if you do this when things are okay, and so that you can really think clearly. But here's some things to consider. You want to get copies of everything. Now, you can do this on your cell phone. You can take a snapshot or whatever, but make sure to get copies of wills and life insurance policies, bank statements, tax records, your business documentation. Make sure to get you a zip drive and back up that computer. Get your login information on all your accounts. Get your medical records and your cell phone account information. You want to make sure and get that cell phone account information. You want all account numbers, and you want all customer service telephone numbers. And like I said, you can take a quick snapshot and you'll have that readily available wherever you are. So here's just a mind jogger on what you need to pack. You want your Social Security cards for you and your children. You want your birth certificate for all of you, your passports, and you also want to copy your abuser's identification information. You might need that. You might need a Social Security number or his driver's license information, or possibly his birth certificate. So make sure and take a snapshot of those as well. Don't forget about your medication or your medical equipment. And a blanket. You don't know what you're facing. You don't forget to get some cash and credit cards and your checks and all of your safety equipment for your children and their personal needs, like a child seat, diapers, your stroller, clothing, coats, school materials, and something personal. There's a personal blanket and pillow, something for them to feel warmth from. And approach this thing as though you're never ever going to go back to that home again. Not that you won't be able to, but it's smart to think about those things because you may not ever have access again. Now, you can't hold on to everything, but just those very special things, don't forget about those. So when you've actually broken free, these are the things you want to do immediately. First off, you want to get as much cash as you possibly can. You want to change all your online passwords as fast as you possibly can. Open a new bank account. You want to go and password protect your cell phone and your bank account. My ex tried to have my phone disconnected, but thank goodness just that morning I had password protected my phone. Now, the bank account I wasn't so lucky on, and I lost all access to our accounts. You also want to notify the school, let them know of the potential threat and counseling needs in the future. This is a very volatile time. You don't know how things are going to respond, and the school needs to be notified because your ex, even if your children aren't there, he could endanger other people by trying to go up to the school. So make sure and let them know. Notify law enforcement and explain to them what the safety risks are. You know this person better than anyone, and just be open and honest and let them know what's going on. Notify your friends and your family. Let everybody know that you're safe. However, guard your location. Only tell your most guarded, trusted friends, because you don't want to put them in jeopardy. If someone doesn't know something, they can't relay that information. But so for their safety, just notify a couple of people about where you are. And don't even think about communicating with the abuser. Right now, everything's too scary. He is not going to be acting well, chances are. And right now is not the time. And you also want to search for legal aid now and get that ball rolling, get protected. Okay, your next step is to find resources. Each state has different resources available, so it's impossible for me to help you in that process. And let me just reiterate, the hotline.org, that's your best bet to start. They can refer you to other organizations in your community. Their number again is 800-799-SAFE, 7233. Now, just to give you a little bit about Texas, that's where I'm from, and these were some unusual things that I got assistance on that I would not have even thought of. So just to let you know about these, there is a crime victims compensation fund. Now, you have to meet requirements, but they can help you with certain things like moving expenses, counseling expenses. They are a good source of assistance. Also, a lot of utility companies will waive deposits for domestic violence victims. Not everyone participates in that, and you do have some requirements to meet for that as well. And just so you know, the person who files divorce has the edge. Yeah, I got a few stories about that, and yeah, I'm not the person who filed. So make sure and get informed. There is legal aid available in the state of Texas in certain regions. So again, whatever avenue you take as far as in your area, ask those questions. Ask and see if there are these types of programs available in your area. And a lot of them, like I said, you must meet requirements. So just be aware of that. So that's it. It's time for you to be strong. Know what you're doing is the right thing. I'll see you later.